Hey guys, welcome back to the Tyler and Eli's Fantasy Football Tips Podcast. I am your host, Tyler Boloski, and let me introduce to you tonight our co-host. He just turned 9 years old, so that makes him the best 9-year-old podcaster out there. I give you Eli Boloski.
Hey guys, what's up? We got a lot of information in this podcast, so you'll want to listen to it over and over again if you're struggling to make a decision on your roster.
Exactly, guys. Games start tomorrow, Sunday. 1 o'clock, we're going to give you the latest and best information out there. We wait the whole week to gather up all the information, run all the numbers for you guys, so pay attention. It's going to be a good one. We took last week off, some personal things we had to take care of, and I wanted to make sure we have the best information for you guys. So we're going to dive right into it. But first, we're going to mention our sponsor, GJP and Oswego. Get Larry and the guys over there continuing to make the best pizza out there. You can call them up at 207-1000. Pick up your wings, your pizza, your calzones for tomorrow's games, and he will get them to your door before kickoff.
Yeah.
207-1000 is the number. All right, so guys, let's dive right into our nines. That's news, injuries, notes, entertainment. The first one up is Eagles tight end Zach Ertz is going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks with rib injuries. Separated, cracked the rib a little bit. That hurts.
Yeah.
So pick up the backup tight end. Actually, don't even worry about picking up the backup tight end. Pick up a different tight end out there. You got Zach Miller. You got Clive Walford's out there.
You got Charles Clay. You got Vance McDonald,
yep.
if you like him.
Yep, pick up those guys for the next couple weeks if you didn't draft up a backup tight end. Coming up next, we have Washington's RG3. He is out to 8 weeks at least with a shoulder injury, and a lot of people are saying that he may not even be playing anymore with the Browns once he comes back. He just isn't good enough. They got Luke McCall now starting for them, and a lot of people like him. I think that the Browns are now going to definitely blow it up, stat-wise at least. I don't think they're going to win any more games, but he's going to do well for them. Moving on to Denver and wide receiver Demaryius Thomas, still suffering from a hip injury from week 1. A lot of people are saying that he's not going to play tomorrow, and if he does, he's going to be hobbled and not ready to go 100%.
No way.
So if you can put him on your bench, I would definitely bench him tomorrow. Eat the 10 points he's gonna put up, but definitely put somebody else in there if you can fill him in. Eli, what do you have next?
Keenan Allen. We actually watched this on Sunday. Keenan Allen, ACL injury. He tore his ACL. He is out for the season, but watch out for Travis Benjamin coming up.
Yeah, definitely pick up Travis Benjamin. He is the speedster there in San Diego, and you definitely want to get him if you can. He should be still on the free agency for the waiver wires if you haven't picked him up midweek. Who else you got, Eli? What else is in the next 9?
Jamal Charles is officially out week 2. He had an injury, and it's coming up again, so he's going to be out week 2.
Yeah, he's still having that knee injury. He's not officially out, but I'm not going to start him, so I'm going to say he's out for the week. He may get a couple of carries, but stay with Spencer Ware and West, and you'll be fine for that. Next up is Chris Ivory for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Running back Chris Ivory is going to be out this week too. He's also continuing to be sick from week 1. He's not hurt, he's just sick, so he should be back next week, which would be great for us. We have him on our bench.
And I have him on my bench.
Yes. Tight end Gronk, Rob Gronkowski is back. He's good to go this week, so guys, put him in your roster, put him in your starting lineup. He is good to go. Start him. For you Minnesota fans, Sam Bradford is going to start this week for the Vikings against the Packers. It doesn't really matter. He's going to throw 7 interceptions anyways. But that's just a news and note for you guys right there. And Russell Wilson, Eli, what do you think about Russell Wilson this week?
Russell Wilson is good to go.
Yep, he is dealing with an ankle injury or a little sprain, twist, or whatever you want to call it. But he should be good to go. It's not 100%, but it's better than nothing. If you don't have a backup, don't worry about him. Start him. Instead of getting 30 points, he may get you 20, but still start him. He may not run as much, but he still can throw the ball.
Yeah.
All right. So that concludes our 9s. And so let's move on to our candy bar bet update. The first one, guys, we have candy bar bets are between Eli and I. We took a couple people from each position, and whoever has the most fantasy points at the end of the year will get candy bars. So our first one will be Derek Carr versus RG3. Eli had Carr. I had RG3. Eli automatic. Oh, I'm sorry. Famous candy bar bets. It is famous. I'm sorry. Derek Carr and RG3. Eli won that one. Since RG3 is done, I'm going to give that to him. So Eli hits one candy bar. Another one is Cam Newton versus Aaron Rodgers. Eli has Newton. I have Rodgers. And right now, Rodgers is up by 23.56 to 22.16. So if the season ends, I get the candy bar.
Running back. The season ended.
Yes. Latavius Murray versus DeMarco Murray. Eli has 14.20. I have 22.70 with DeMarco, so I would win that one.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a clean sweep. Eli has Randall Cobb. He has 12.80 points, and I have Willie Snead, who blew it up last week for 32.20.
Whoa.
But he's going to win this candy bar bet with Zach Miller, 4.40 tight ends, and I have Gary Barnidge, who put up a goose egg at 0. Now, Eli
zero.
Yeah, you originally did have Ladarius Green, but since he's out, I gave you the liberty of picking Zach Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're winning. So it looks like we...
By 4.40.
Yeah, but you owe me 3 candy bars, and I owe you 2. But the season's not done yet. It's a long season.
Yep, definitely a long season.
Definitely a long season.
16 more games to go.
Yep, and we are excited for all 16. So let's get right into the top games this week. We have about 5 for you guys. Now, a lot of the podcasters out there, a lot of industry will go through every single game, but since we kind of keep it short, we only have 30 minutes to talk about it. We're not going to go break down every single game for you guys because that would just take about an hour, and we don't have that type of time. So we're going to give you the biggest games with the biggest points, with the biggest point getters for your fantasy team, your fantasy lineup. And the first one is going to be the Saints versus the Giants. And Eli, I tell you what, last year they blew it up for almost 70 points last year. Give me some of the starters you would pick for the starting lineup for the Saints. Who would you start this week for the Saints?
I would definitely start Drew Brees. I would definitely start Coby Fleener if you don't have a stud tight end.
Yeah, and he's going to do way better this week. Last week he didn't get anything. He got 1 catch for 6 yards. And the Giants can't cover to tight ends, so he's going to come into his own this week. Last week, he just had to get used to the team.
Yeah.
He had preseason, but it's preseason, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
All right, who do you got? So, Fleener, Brees.
Mark Ingram. He's one of those you got to start him, guys. And then last, you don't want to start the defense, but last, you want Willie Snead and Brandon Cooks.
Yep, 2 top receivers right there.
Like, if you have Demaryius Thomas, and you have Willie Snead, take out Demaryius Thomas, put in Willie Snead.
Excellent. I like that. That's a good choice because you could have drafted both of those guys, Thomas first or early and Snead late. So, yeah, that's a good choice right there, guys. That's a good tip right there. So, yeah, I like all those guys. There's really no one else you can plug in there. Maybe Michael Thomas if you're in a deep league. If you start like 3 receivers in a flex or something like that. So definitely those are the top guys right there for the Saints. For the Giants, I'm starting Eli Manning. I'm starting OBJ. I'm starting Sterling Shepard. And if you're in a deep league, even Victor Cruz. He's at home, first home game of the year. They're going to feed him the ball. He's healthy. He's ready to go. It's Victor Cruz time. Break out the salsa dance all weekend. We have Shepard, so we want his points.
Yeah,
but
I have Eli Manning, so I want his points.
Yeah, as far as Rashid Jennings, if you need him, if you have Jamal Charles, sure, start him. He's not a guaranteed starter. Maybe a number 2, or if you have 2 flexes, maybe put him in the flex.
Yeah.
So he would be a guy maybe not start. Don't start the defense either. Drew Brees is going to light it up. At least 5. I'm saying 5 touchdowns today.
Yeah, definitely.
Next game, it's not only just a big fantasy point game, but it's a big game to watch. The Steelers and Bengals. Eli, who do you want to start for the Steelers?
Obviously Antonio Brown. Yep. DeAngelo Williams, if you have Le'Veon Bell on the bench, or if you just need to start someone, like if you have Jamal Charles, then it's a good idea. Or if you drafted Chris Ivory, then it's a good idea to start him. And start Big Ben.
Big Ben, yep. Big Ben's kind of struggled with the Bengals. If you drafted Big Ben, you drafted him to start. So start Big Ben. I would even throw in maybe Jesse James, a tight end. Big Ben really likes him, and even Eli Rogers. Though that would probably be for a deeper league, same with Jesse James. But those are two guys. If you need some help, if your tight end went down, if you have Zach Ertz, maybe pick up Jesse James.
Yeah.
Marcus Wheaton is coming back this week. He's from a shoulder injury, so he may be a sleeper in there if you're in a deep league. We have him. We're not going to start him, though. But someone to look at if you need some wide receiver help. And for the Bengals, really, it's just Andy Dalton, I would say, and A.J. Green.
A.J. Green blew it up last week.
Yeah,
he's like Mark Ingram and Antonio Brown. He's one of those guys you really have to start unless they're playing like the Broncos, or if they're playing or if they're injured, obviously.
Exactly. And for the running backs, Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard, not the greatest guys to start against the Steelers defense, but if you need to put them in there, go for it.
Yeah, Steelers' run defense is pretty good.
Yeah. For Hill owners, he'll get a touchdown. Gio is the pass-catching running back, so definitely grab him if you want PPR points.
Yeah.
Next up is the Colts and Broncos. I would say don't start anyone from the Colts. The Broncos defense is just going to have a field day with them. The offensive line is horrible. You're going to get points, obviously, from Luck in the receivers, but if you can not start them, I know Eli's not starting T.Y. Hilton.
Nope.
Because they're just going to swarm Hilton. And Moncrief is good and Dorsett's good, but if you have other options, I'd start them.
Yeah, but Tyler's starting Andrew Luck because he has no backup quarterback.
Yeah, I need to start a quarterback, and I don't really want to start.
Because he dropped Dak Prescott.
Yeah, and I don't really want to start him. And as far as Frank Gore, you can bench him this week.
Yeah.
For the Broncos, start Emmanuel Sanders. Definitely, yeah, good point. Since Thomas is not going to be 100%, you got to get him in there. C.J. Anderson is going to blow it up again this week. Start C.J. Anderson. And if you're in a 2-quarterback league or a 3-quarterback league, you could even go with the what's his name? The quarterback there.
Trevor Siemian.
Trevor Siemian. Go with Trevor Siemian if you're in a deep quarterback league. To start the defense, definitely start Denver defense. Colts defense, no. Don't start them.
No.
Ravens and Browns. I think if you have a Ravens, you should probably start them. Definitely Joe Flacco if you're in a 2-quarterback league. 1-quarterback league, maybe not.
Probably not.
But
unless you have unless you want to take out Russell Wilson or Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck is going to get destroyed by the Denver defense.
Pittsburgh defense. You mean Luck, Andrew Luck. I'm sorry, Andrew Luck. Yep. You said Andy Dalton, I think.
No, I said Andrew Luck.
I don't know. Either way.
But so that would be a good option if you didn't want Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson to only put up 15 points instead of 25.
Exactly. And Justin Forsett, you could start him as a running back 2 or flex. And right now, Mike Wallace seems to be the receiver they have right now. Steve Smith is still coming on, but he only had 5 points last week. So
yeah, Mike Wallace had a huge touchdown.
He had a touchdown last week. For the Browns, a lot of people are liking the Browns this week because of Luke McNown. One of the McNown brothers. And so that means start Gary Barnidge. He is going to turn it around. He put up 0, but McNown likes Barnidge. He's going to give him the ball. No worries about Coleman or Pryor. They're going to get their catches. Duke Johnson and Isaiah Correll will still get the ball. They'll split time, but they'll get the ball. So if you can start them, go for it. The Ravens defense, though, is tough.
Yes, very tough.
And here's the one thing, too. We were talking about this earlier this week. A lot of people are picking the Ravens defense to go against the offense of the Browns. I would do that, but I'd be very cautious because McNown is the veteran. He is a lot better than RG3. So don't automatically jump on. Do your research with that. I mean, go for it, but just have that in your back of your mind. They may score three touchdowns. I bet.
And
the Browns, that is.
Yeah, but the Ravens defense will probably get a touchdown. I bet.
They'll probably get I bet they have a pick 6. I like that. They will
or
get
a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yeah. All right. So next up is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Oakland Raiders. I picked this one because I think since the Falcons are going to the West Coast, usually teams going to the West Coast have a hard time adapting to the time. But Matt Ryan, I say start Matt Ryan, start Julio Jones, obviously. Don't worry about the ankle injury. He always has an ankle injury.
Yeah.
Start Mohamed Sanu in a deep league or as a flex. Same thing. He has kind of a tweak ankle, but start him. And Dante Freeman, start him.
Yeah.
It's week 1. Don't overreact. He didn't do well, but
Yeah, and
start.
he had him.
Yeah, start Freeman. Don't worry about Coleman. It's just they're trying to figure out the thing. Start Freeman.
And for the Raiders, yeah, obviously starting Amari Cooper for number 2, maybe flex if you have a deep league, start Crabtree and start what's his name? Clive Walford.
Clyde Walford. That's especially if you don't have Ertz.
Yeah, and
Ertz.
definitely start what's his name? Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Start Derek Carr for sure. He's gonna light it up down there or over there in Oakland. I forgot to mention Tyler Eifert is still out for Cincinnati, so he's not gonna come back for another couple weeks. He's slowly making progress, but just don't start him.
No.
Yeah, the Raiders are going to be great. Latavius Murray is going to have a field day again, rushing the ball.
He's number 2 starter.
Yeah.
And if you have a deep league, then start him as a flex. Like if you have 2 flexes.
Yeah. Well, if you have him as a flex, you have 2 really good stud running backs. So.
Yeah.
Some people. So those are the top 5 games that we picked out. Some other people, be cautious of Todd Gurley this week. They are playing Seattle, so if you can sub him in. It's Seattle's defense, guys. That's all they have is Todd Gurley. So be careful of him. New England, go ahead and start Gronk this week. Go ahead and start Edelman and
not Tom Brady.
Not Tom Brady. He's still out, but probably LeGarrette Blount.
Maybe. Probably not.
Well, if you have to.
Yeah.
49ers play Carolina. Don't worry about anyone from the 49ers. Carlos Hyde had a big game, but come on, they played the Rams. They played the Rams last week. This week they play the Panthers defense. Don't start anyone from San Francisco. Start everyone from Carolina, from Cam to Calvin Benjamin, Greg Olsen, all those guys, Jonathan Stewart. Dallas, Washington. That's not a bad game. That's a good game to watch. I'd say start everyone. I wouldn't start either defense because I think it's going to be a shootout. Dak Prescott is coming off his first game, so I think he's got the nerves calmed down. He's coming down.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott's going to have a good day. Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson for Washington. Kirk Cousins, I think it's in Washington, so it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
I'd like to watch that game, but instead we're going to get the Saints Giants, which is
that's a better game, a way better game.
Yeah, and the nightcap is Green Bay Minnesota. Now here's the thing, guys. Green Bay Minnesota is in Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers has it really tough against Minnesota every time they play. Minnesota's defense is great. However, their offense is not so great. So that means the defense is going to be on the field a lot more, which is going to get tired.
The thing about their defense, like the Broncos' defense and the Kansas City defense, is that even though they're going to be on the field the whole game, they're still going to do great.
Oh, yeah. Last week they had 2 touchdowns, the Minnesota defense did.
Yeah.
So be cautious of that, though. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. You're going to start him. You're going to start Jordy Nelson. If you have start Randall Cobb. We actually decided to start Sterling Shepard because they play the Saints defense.
Instead of Randall
Cobb. But we had no problem starting Randall Cobb. But we just like the Saints defense better because they're going to get us more points. But start Randall Cobb, start Eddie Lacy, and for Minnesota, start AP. That's all you really have.
Yeah.
Until Bradford can prove himself in Minnesota, I would stay away from Steph Diggs and Kyle Rudolph, but that's a really deep, you have no other tight end option out there.
Or if it's a deep league. Or if you have like a deep league, like 2 tight ends or a flex.
And then
2 flexes.
Monday night game are Chicago and Philly.
Don't start either.
Well, you know what? Because both defenses are horrible, you can get a lot of fantasy points. The Matthew brothers, they're not really brothers, but Ryan Matthews and Jordan Matthews are going to have big games because Chicago's defense is horrible. And Jeremy Langford, I think, is going to have a good game against Philly's defense.
Yeah.
So, I know.
Yeah, Jeremy Langford wasn't too shabby last week.
Yeah, so obviously you're going to start Alshon Jeffrey. He's the number 1 there. Be cautious of Kevin White. He looks lost out there. He didn't do anything last week.
And Eddie Royale, too. Or Royal.
Yeah, and Jay Cutler, in 2 quarterback leagues, start him. Don't, Charles Wentz? Charlie Wentz.
No, it's, the Wentz guy.
Yeah, Wentz. Charlie Wentz, I think.
No, it's not Charlie, though.
I don't know. But either way, I think there was a fluke last week. He's a rookie. They're playing the Browns. I mean, Eli could throw the the stats he had up last week too. I mean, anyone could do that. So I wouldn't start Wentz this week. I would start somebody else. I know one of the guys in our league has Wentz, and he started him last week over Derek Carr, which I was kind of surprised. So I would stay clear of Wentz, and we're just looking Wentz up right now. And where'd he go?
It's WEN.
I know how to spell it, Mister. So Eli, why don't you talk about your team? How'd your team do this week in Uncle Kurt's league?
And my team last week didn't do so good except for Matt Forte. Matt Forte blew it up this week.
He did.
Last week and this week, 30.90 points for Matt Forte.
Last week? No, that was on this past.
That was this week.
How did you do last week? How did your team do last week?
Last week, he was pretty good. He got 20 points.
Yeah. How did your team? Did you win? Did you lose?
No, I lost.
You lost. But it was a close game, though.
Yeah, it was a very close game. And my dad had the biggest blowout. He lost as the biggest blowout.
Yeah, I lost by 33 points.
Yeah.
But it happens. Yeah, everyone's out there happening. But we did win our church league.
Yep.
We did win our church league by under 3 points. So, hey, a win's a win. Doesn't matter how you win. By 1 point or 2 points.
Or 0.1 point.
Yep, so we won that league game. And then the family league, how did you do in that? You came in third, it looks like, with 121 points.
Yep.
And I came in last with 89 points.
Yep.
So, but how we do that league is we pick one player each position, and then
and so the teams are really stacked.
They're stacked.
Like I got Antonio Brown and I got Eli Manning, I think.
Yeah.
So that like never happens.
And then in our mega family league with our aunts and uncles, we lost. We got blown out.
Oh, it's Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. We were way off.
Yeah.
Either way, don't start Carson Wentz this week. I know he's playing Chicago defense, but I would say for the team we're looking at right now, he has Derek Carr and Carson Wentz. I would go with Derek Carr at Atlanta over Chicago.
Yeah. Carson Wentz. Yahoo says 3% of the time start Carson Wentz and 48% of the time start Derek Carr. I mean, I know Yahoo predictions are way off, but come on, it's that big of a difference, and it's Derek Carr.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta start. And Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and they're saying Carr is going to have almost 18 points and Wentz is 20 points. So there's a 2-point difference. I would go with Carr. But you know what? He blew it up last week. Wentz did, but I don't think he's going to repeat with that one. Let's quickly look at our church league and see who.
That is the church league.
I know, but let's see our matchup for the church league.
Oh yeah.
Real quick, and we're playing. Oh, not that team. We are playing. I know we're playing Uncle Matt, and we're going to destroy Uncle Matt because he is playing LeGarrette Blount this week.
Yep.
And I think because he had a big game last week, he's going to have no game this week because I think Bill Belichick will play James White all day. Yep. So we have Drew Brees. He has Aaron Rodgers. That's a pretty equal matchup. We have Mike Evans and Calvin Benjamin. He has Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald.
I think his wide receivers are a tiny bit better.
Tiny bit because Hops. We have
Fitz.
Yeah, we have Lamar Miller, Mark Ingram. He has Latavius Murray and LeGarrette Blount.
Boom, blowout.
Blowout running backs us. We have Fleener, and he has Travis Kelce.
Boom, blowout us.
I think it's going to be pretty even. He has Houston defense, so that's kind of... I think that's pretty even. If Fleener can't do anything like he did last week. So I'd say even. We have Sterling Shepard. He have Michael Crabtree in the flex.
I think that's even.
Yeah, being the rookie, and but we do have Saints defense going against, and he has Falcons. I would give that to us, though it is only a 40 point difference. We have Arizona's kicker. He has Justin Tucker from Baltimore,
which blew it up last week.
And he's kicking in the rain. We're kicking in the dome, so that's got to give it to us.
Yeah.
And then we have Green Bay defense against Minnesota.
Which I think that's
going to be great. We're going to have at least 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 sacks, and 4 interceptions.
Hopefully.
And he has the New York Giants defense against New Orleans. And we'll just leave it at that. That's who he's starting. That's who he starts.
Yep.
So Yahoo predicts us to win 124.07. He has 121.55. We have a 52% chance of winning this game.
He has a 48% chance of winning this game.
That wraps up the Church League update for us versus Uncle Matt. The how do you pronounce that?
Root-tacular.
Root-taculars. And we are Ehud's Swords. So we're going to come to a close to our podcast. We got a couple minutes left. Before we do, we have to mention how we are fueled. And we are fueled by Shaklee. We love our Shaklee products.
Yep, I'm sipping a
Shaklee,
performance right now.
Performance right now. It is tasty. And I am eating the Shaklee 180 meal in a bar. These are great, guys. These are a complete meal in your pocket. It's a complete meal. I eat these almost every day. They're so good. I woke up this morning thinking, I want a bowl of cereal. And then I thought, well, bowl of cereals are pretty lame. They don't fill me up as much as I think they do. So I reached for my Shaklee 180 meal in a bar, peanut butter and chocolate chip.
Yum.
Those are tasty. They're good, guys. It's powered by leucine to help your body retain lean muscle while you slim down. 20 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber to help you feel fuller and longer. Guys, these are excellent products from Shaklee. If you want any information about Shaklee, you can email my wife at Amy. Oh my gosh, I forgot what it is. Just email the podcast and we'll get you the link for Amy. It's Tyler and Eli FF Tips
at gmail.com.
Yes. Email us and we'll get you our information for my wife and her Shaklee. They have peanut butter chocolate chip, blueberry and almond crisp, white chocolate chip, and cinnamon. And guys, Shaklee is the real deal. These things fill us up. They have shakes, they have vitamins, they have cleaning products, they have cleaning face products, clean your face up. They have everything and everything. They have vitamins for kids. We're going to talk about that next week. They have vitamins for all ages, joint relief. These guys, moisturizers, house cleaning products, shampoos and conditioners. Guys, Shaklee is the real deal, 100% green. They have a ton of Olympic athletes who use them. A ton of gold medals this year down in Rio this year. So pick up your Shaklee from my wife. You can see us on YouTube at Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips. You can see our Facebook page at Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips. And Eli just got me my wife's email address for Shaklee update. It's abelowski at iCloud.com. It's abelowski, BELAWSKE, at iCloud.com. So email her if you need and want any Shaklee information. And that's going to put a wrap for our podcast today. And so, Eli, do you have any last thoughts or comments about today's show and tomorrow's games?
Tomorrow's games are going to be great, guys. Great games. And so watch them if you can. They're great, and keep an update. Keep being updated on your fantasy players, and listen to this podcast. Ask your friends, and remember, go down to GJP in Oswego at the JCPenney Plaza, and Larry's gonna make some good pizza for you guys.
That was a long comment and thought, but I liked it. Mine, guys, is enjoy the games tomorrow. Continue to watch Demaryius Thomas. I would just say bench him. And guys, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you guys next week. And that's going to do it for me, Tyler Belowski.
I'm Eli Belowski.
And you're listening to the Tyler and Eli Fantasy Football Tips Podcast.
Bye. See ya.